Alrighty, so even though it's a Saturday, July 12th, I'm just looking at the charts, just reviewing the charts before I, enjoy my Saturday afternoon. Uh, I am out of town, and just at a hotel right now before I go out with some of my friends. Just wanted to kill some time and just reflect, right? Because this is what you have to do every day. It doesn't matter if it's a weekend. It doesn't matter if the markets are open or markets are closed, and that some time, few hours when you're all calm and everything. It's always best to just look at the markets or really whatever that one thing is that you're trying to perfect, and that's where you truly have your aha moments, right? So, kind of looking back at charts this week, a lot of people, expressed that NAS, US 30, S&P 500. Of course, I don't look at S&P, but S&P is very, very similar to NAS 100. I would say if you're trading S&P 500 pretty well, you would do much better. You have a good chance of doing well in NAS 100, but you will make much more profit, easily 5-10 times the amount of profit on NAS 100 and S&P. And US 30, it's a completely different animal. However, that's a different story, right? But anyways, I trade support and resistance. I did make profit. This is 2 days ago, Thursday. Look on the bottom of my cursor. It shows Thursday, 10 July this year, right? So PST time zone, guys. So the New York session. That's what we trade. The stock market opens New York session at 6:30 a.m. PST time zone, right? So anyways, what am I looking at now? I did take a sell, not immediately at the market opening. Let's just break it down, right? So ideally we see this thing going up. We see it going up over here, came down, came up. So ideally you would assume that there's something there, and the fact, we came down, went up, came down. I always just mark higher highs, higher lows, lower lows, lower highs. Look at all those pivotal points, right? That's what I want to call pivotal points. I look at those areas, right? I look at what is it doing. So ideally I could say that we could I could sell it right here, right now where it's at, and I could expect a flush. That wouldn't, that's fair. However, that wouldn't, you don't really have the whole story telling that, right? Because if you're saying it's holding there, now let's look at the same level, right? 22,914.61. What is it doing here? Well, it's sure, but it's not really at that same level. You have to be really, really, really specific and to the point, right? You have to be very precise, in other words. Now, but we also have, let me just delete this. You also have that little wick indicating that there's something over here. Well, to be exact, it's something over here, right? So it's supposed to be a little circle, to be honest. But anyways, I'm not gonna fix that. Same thing over here. Now we came up. Now we're holding something over here, right? So we're holding something here. We're holding something here, and price action is right here for right now. But we have nothing over here. Over here, we have something up here. We have something up here. So let me just clear my charts. 12 drawings. Okay. So ideally, I want to see something right here. And sorry guys, I'm trying to make as straight of a line as possible. I want to see again something right here. So kind of putting one and one together. I want to see it. I'm not going to do anything in market opening. I want to see it basically come to this high, and then I want to expect a flush. Right now, I did not think it was going to be a heavy flush. In other words, where did I want to see it come up to? Basically, and let me just clear the charts again so it makes it a little bit easier for you guys to see. I don't want you guys to kind of have to squirm your eyes or just move side to side to see everything, right? So do I think something's over here? Well, I personally do. Either there, or you could probably say somewhere on top of those wicks. And it makes sense because it came, the wick almost touched it, then she dropped. Heavy flush, right? Heavy sell-off after it. Now, we did come in this area. Somebody might ask, why don't you put on top of this wick? That's fair game, but at the same time, you want to look more at the bodies, right? At least I do. Now, you have two bodies over here touching. You have the wick almost touching this, and at this point I want to see it just come up and flush, right? I want to see a flush. Now, a good area where I would want to take my profit, and of course depending on what it does, because while a sell-off in my opinion right now would seem guaranteed, but it's not always gonna be a major flush, which means a heavy dump, right? So that's not always the case, guys. Realistically speaking, I would be expected to take profits somewhere over here, or somewhere even, this would be my first take profit, basically TP1. This would be my ultimate TP, and I definitely would want to try to see some type of reversal, something in this area, right? So you see it comes up over here, flushes, comes up, we retest it, and then pushes back up, right? So, and then you see to the left, you see all this, I don't know what the heck that just popped up. That was my first time seeing it. But anyways, basically that's what I was looking at. Again, sorry guys, I use this blue line for everything. I know it's very confusing. This top blue line is called resistance, basically a price ceiling. Support is more of a price floor where it bounces, right? So think about price ceiling again as resistance. Resistance is price ceiling, and price floor where candles bounce, or where ideally you should be walking, or what holds weight. Again, the floor, price floor, is going to be support, right? So let's see what happened, right? Boom. Now you see how we're really close, but we're going up. I did take a sell. I think by the time I got filled, it was somewhere over here. Not really the best entry, but at the same time not the worst entry. You know, you don't always want to be fast. Sometimes you want to wait a little bit so you have more confirmation. Now some people are instant with it, and you know, I feel like that's to each their own, right? So I'm not exactly trading 100% at that level. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. At least as of right now, I haven't really been on the best side of my trading. But anyways, I took a sell. I did get it TP right here, right? And you know, again, we're on a 15-minute time frame. Each of these candles, you know, shows over here 15-minute time frame. Each one of these candles are in increments of 15. So you know, if you go on a 1-minute time frame, or even if you go on a smaller time frames like the 5-second, 10-second, 15-second, 30-second, 45-second, you could see that, you know, basically this thing is everywhere. Of course, that's how stocks move, but at the same time, how I trade is that immediately once I'm in profit, right after the opening, that's when I immediately start moving my stop loss in profit, right? So in this case, I moved my stop loss below my entry, and I was slowly dragging it, picking it up, dragging it, pick it up, dropping, and just drag it, and then she basically closed me out and hit my stop loss where it was really tight. It was 6 points of a difference. You know, I got basically, she retraced 6 points up, and that's where I got close, and you know, it was still good. I don't remember how much profit, but it was something around 30 points. Again, the price from here and the price from my trading platform are different, so you know, a 50-point candle here might be honestly as much as like mid 30s, maybe early 40s on my trading platform. So to each their own. Every broker, that's the same thing with everything on TradingView, to wherever other people and other traders trade, of course. I did take a buy over here, man. Being honest, I did take a buy over here, right? So I was up almost $600 from the sell, and I tried to chase this, and look what happened. I didn't move my stop loss, and I personally feel like I didn't have much time. Immediately, she just dumped on my ass, right? So I closed Thursday with, and you know, this is just me being honest, I closed Thursday, I was up 622, and I ended up closing Thursday with an $800 loss, right? 806 to be exact. So 622 to 806. Of course, both with commission included. It was not the dumbest, it was not the smartest move of me to be trading after I made basically a great analysis off of my first trade, right? So but you know, you learn, right? You live to learn, you live and learn, and then you always just keep repeating the cycle, right? So I know better. I've been trading for 3.5 years. This winter is about to mark my 4th year. I know better. I shouldn't have taken a second trade. My worst days are because I take more than one trade. And I mean, I hate to be that asshole that says one trade is all you need, but to be honest, if it's one thing that I really, really want anybody to know, especially if you're a beginner trader, if you're new to trading, and especially since these videos are meant for myself down my future and my trading career, this is definitely a message I always need to remind myself. One trade. If it's red, I need to call it, unless if I 100% believe in that setup. But having two red trades back to back is nothing. It cost me my whole mental health. It is nothing but just pure damage with all bitterness coming out of my heart, right? So and then that's at the point where I start blowing the account. So right now the account is doing well. We're back up to almost $1,000. At one point we're up at $1,700. Luckily Friday we crushed it. If you didn't see my first video, the video which is before this, then that was yesterday's. In other words, Friday, July 11th of a trade recap. This is trade recap of July 10th, Thursday. Again, I just had time, and you know, I always like to look back on my trades, and these, if I'm spending time doing my back testing and charting, I might as well just make a small video of it and just put it on YouTube, right? So people can see it. Obviously, instead of taking screenshots, where I always take a screenshot, by the way, I have a folder on my laptop where I call it straight up just trade screenshots, right? So chart setups, I actually should change it to that, chart setups, but it's just trade screenshots. And YouTube, this channel is dedicated to making those trade recaps. So you see how I basically try to journalize absolutely everything. And then one thing I'm really trying to do with this new YouTube channel moving forward, this is my second channel, guys. My first, I did delete it. I needed a start fresh, and just kind of need to be a little bit more specific and dedicated to just trading content only rather than other things. That's where I started rambling with my other channel. But I had 300 subscribers. I'm not promoting this. It's just I want this to completely stay private, and whoever finds it, hey, great. But one thing for sure is that I'm not here to bullshit anybody, right? All these videos are truly from my honest thought process, my honest trade recaps, my honest everything related to trading, right? So if I'm gonna make a deposit, and that's something that I need to tell you guys, I'm fully exposing myself and being accountable on this channel this time around. That's just the whole point of making these videos, and I truly believe holding myself accountable is what also allowed me to be profitable, right? So I'm still profitable. I am making more foolish mistakes. I mean, it is summer. A lot of traders say that summer has the worst price action. Summer has the choppiest price action. It doesn't exactly have the worst setups, though. There's a difference. You do have to be a little bit more patient in the summertime. Sometimes you have to be a lot more aggressive in the summertime too. You have to almost always look at the charts, and then upon your strategy, you have to understand when to pick up the pace or when to slow down the pace, right? So every day brings a new challenge. Every day is a new challenge. Every day proposes a different scenario, and you truly have to adapt immediately, right? So hey, if anybody sees this video, if you guys like this type of content, if you can drop a subscribe to the channel, show some love, drop a comment, what you found interesting, where I can improve, what you prefer me talking about. Just keep it a buck. There's no hard feelings. If my language, English, or something needs improvement, just say it. It's completely out of all love. I get it, right? I'm here to help as many people as I can. Of course, I don't offer any services. I don't want to go down that route again. This is the closest thing to offering any type of support moving forward. So as always, guys, even though I don't have a single subscriber yet, but as always, peace, love, and cheers. That's the one thing I always said at the end of every single video. I had 97 videos on my old YouTube. So once again, guys, peace, love, and cheers. Thank you.